Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Liallure and I'm back at it again with another video. If you're new to my channel, hey girl, hey, my name is Leah. I make videos, story times, hauls. I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, something slight for the kids. You know the vibe. And if you're a returning subscriber, hey friend, how are you? I hope you're doing wonderful, fabulous, beautiful, amazing. If you're new here, don't forget to hit see, here I go with this. If you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because it is free 99. You're not missing anything, baby. Just hit that subscribe button because it's still Black History Month and support a Black content creator. Thank you. And if you're a returning subscriber, hey friend, I love y'all. I love every single one of y'all. Thank you so much for checking on me if you did in the month. Was I gone for a month? In the time that I was gone, thank you for checking on me if you did. It's been a pretty rough few weeks. Life is lifing. The economy's on fire. I don't know what day of the week it is, but if it's one thing I'm gonna do, let's get on this camera for y'all. Okay, welcome back to another video. Today is Storytime Sunday. It's everybody's favorite day of the week, and I'm back with another one. And this one is a good one because this one is the one that I promised you guys some months ago. If you are not new here, then you know that in my toxic relationship story time, in the first part at the beginning, I mentioned that the way I met my ex-boyfriend Dwayne is because I was talking like cash money shit about my ex before him. When G.I. Joe and I broke up, I was talking a lot of shit on Twitter. I was like, this ain't shit, I hate me. I was on Twitter running my mouth, and so that's how Dwayne knew to swoop in and talk to me. That ex is the one that we're gonna talk about today. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This might be my villain origin story. And it's not not this part in particular, but the whole entirety of the story. This is gonna be the first part of, I don't know how many parts of the series is gonna have, but this is gonna be the first part of the story. And this is for sure my villain origin story. But to see how it plays out, you gotta watch every single part, and I'm not gonna tell you when I'm gonna drop them. Just make sure you keep coming back, make sure you keep liking the videos, engaging and commenting. That way that I know you guys are invested and you wanna see some more, okay? Okay, let's do this. Okay, so back in my sophomore year, I did not have a boyfriend. At the beginning, at least, I didn't have a boyfriend because in my freshman year, I came into college already having a boyfriend, and unfortunately that relationship didn't last long because I was just going through so much. You know what I'm saying? When you're a freshman in college, especially a freshman who has to live on campus some hours away from their home if you're not cross country. I went to Syracuse, so I was 5 hours away from New York City. You know, my mom doesn't drive, so she couldn't come see me as often as I wanted, and I definitely wasn't gonna take the bus. No ma'am. So I didn't have my mom as much as I was used to having her, and obviously classes was hard. It was just a bit of a learning curve and a social curve for me. So I didn't feel like being in a relationship was a good idea for me at that point, and I also didn't feel like I was giving my boyfriend at the time the attention that he needed and just the respect he needed in the relationship. So gracefully I ended it. After that, I started to talk to / date someone who I went to high school with, and he ended up stalking me. Yeah, he ended up stalking me. If you want to see that story time, it'll be in the cards, hopefully. And so after that situation, I think that that's what made me be I'm done. You're done. I'm not doing this anymore. No. After that point, I was just there literally is no reason for you to date anyone. It's just, unless God knocks on my door and says, here's your man, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear nothing. I'm good. So that was kind of my mindset going into my sophomore year of college. And of course, even though you're minding your business, drinking your water as you should do, okay? Yeah, things always happen and people are always placed into your life. So that's how this person came into my life at a time when I was minding my business. One day I was on Instagram. I was in my room, not really doing anything. And I think it was the evening time after classes. So I got a notification from Instagram, and it was from a friend request. So I go into the friend request tab and I just pressed accept. I didn't look to see who it was. I didn't see if the person was a guy or a girl. I could kind of tell it was a guy based on the name, but I was not interested to see anything else about him. At that time, people on Instagram were just accepting all friend requests because they wanted to have the most followers out of their friends. It was some real corny shit. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, but I also wanted okay, anyway, so I accepted his friend request and I kept on going. No later than 10 minutes later, he sent me a message and I opened it, and the message read something along the lines of, hey, I just wanted to say that I think that you're gorgeous. I didn't want to have my night keep going without telling you that. And usually when someone DMs you and they tell you oh, I think you're gorgeous, it's a superficial comment, you know what I'm saying? Because of course you think I'm gorgeous. I mean, yeah. So I was oh, thank you so much, but I didn't expect anything to come from that conversation because, you know, it's just a compliment. That's it. So then after that, he was like, oh, you're welcome. So I said to him, after I said thank you to him, I went on his Instagram profile to see what he looked like, because now you're initiating conversation, so clearly you want something from me. So I go into his Instagram profile and I'm like getting a little scroll and stuff like that, and I read his bio, I got some information about him, and then after that, like, I went through his pictures and some things ran out to me immediately. So one of the first things I noticed about him is that he was, in fact, he was I'm not gonna lie, he was a walking red flag. He was a walking red flag, but at the time, in the moment, I did not know. You know what I'm saying? I had to live the experience to know that he was a walking red flag. You see me? You see me. All right, cool. So let me explain something about this guy, and then we're also going to name him if you're not familiar with my other story time. So in the other story time where I mentioned him briefly, we called him G.I. Joe, so that's exactly where we're going to keep rolling with. His name is G.I. Joe. We're calling him G.I. Joe because at the time he was in the military. Dumb bitch. Yeah, he was in the military, and I wasn't familiar with military men, so don't be in the comments like, oh girl, you should have known that, because he's in the military. I did not know nothing about no military men. I knew one military man, and he was like a family friend. I ain't know no military men, girl, so I didn't think anything of it, you know what I mean? The other thing about him that's important to mention is that he is Jamaican, right? We're not, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear it. He was Jamaican. Okay, moving on. So so he was in the military, and he's also Jamaican. I could see that he was from Brooklyn and stuff like that, and that's kind of like the only information I gathered from his profile. There was no like girls that look around my age, so I couldn't see a girlfriend or nothing like that. I saw some of his family members it was obvious that they were his family members, but there was nothing like alarming on his page. So after I do my little skim through his page or whatever, I go back to the DMs and I'm like, oh, like, thanks for the compliment, you're not so bad looking yourself, because G.I. Joe was cute. And so I was like, yeah, like, you're not so bad looking yourself. And he was like, oh, thank you, like, that's so sweet of you. So as we are talking and we're like starting to get to know each other or whatever, through the DMs, and we're having this first initial conversation, it was so weird to me, and I had never ever had this feeling with someone, but it felt like I had known this man for years. It felt like I'd known him in some part of like my soul, had already met him. I don't know anything about kindred spirits. I don't know anything about soulmates, soul ties. I don't know anything about former lives. I'm a Christian. I'm a child of God. I don't know nothing about that. But what I do know is that when I felt that, I had never felt it before. It felt like we had known each other and we already had like such like a strong connection. It was very easy to talk to him. We didn't stumble. We didn't fall. The conversation didn't lag, not at all. Like, there was no misstep at all. And as I'm talking to him and I'm getting to know this man that I just met for the first time, I'm finding myself smiling and cheesing. Yeah, I'm finding myself laughing and, you know, cheesing, and it just felt so good. You know, sometimes when you start having a conversation with someone, you're not sure if you guys are moving more towards friendship or moving more towards like romantic, trying to get to know each other. That wasn't the case for me. I knew this was gonna be my man. Okay, I knew it. You couldn't tell me. And this is only the first night. Now, I don't want to hear anything in the comments like, oh girl, you so stupid, you just met him, you don't know nothing about him. Just listen to the story. So the next day comes and I wake up thinking about him. I woke up with like a smile on my face or whatever, like thinking about the previous conversation, but I wasn't gonna be the one to say something first, right? I really wasn't gonna be that girl. So I wake up though to a message from him, because if you know anything about the military or being in the military, like, they wake up super early for some type of like roll call or training, or I forgot what it's called, but they wake up like stupid early to like gather in the yard basically. So I get a message from this man at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and he's like, hey beautiful, I really enjoyed speaking to you last night. I hope you have a great day, and I hope I get to speak to you today. So I'm like of course he wants to speak to the kid again. Like, you know, I did my big one last night. I gave him personality. I gave him charm. I gave him bad gal. I gave him everything he wanted. You know what I'm saying? The whole package. The whole unhinged package. Like, I gave it to him. And so, of course, he wants to speak to me again. Now, I'm gassed. I'm over here smiling. I just woke up. Still got crust in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? It's gross. But I'm happy. I'm happy as shit. So I texted him back basically, and I was like, oh, good morning, I really enjoyed speaking to you last night, and I hope you have a good day as well. And that's kind of like how I started the conversation. I didn't want to do too much. I didn't want to give him too much energy, let him know that I was feeling him as much as I was, but that's what I said. So as the day is going by, we're talking to each other the whole entire day. We did not miss a step again, just like the previous night. Like when I had a break and I wasn't in class, bro, even when I was in class and I was in a lecture or something like that, I pulled out my phone any chance that I got to text this man back. Why are you so thirsty? And I would have looked at myself a little side eye if he had not been matching my energy, you know what I'm saying? But he was matching my energy. He was texting me back any chance he got, did not miss a step. It wasn't more than 10 minutes before I got another message from this man. So I felt fine giving him that energy basically. So that day ends and I go back to my room and he's back in like his barracks now. And he's like, can I have your number? I'd like to like call you and stuff like that. So I said, okay, cool, no problem. So I give him my number, he calls me, and we're on the phone, once again getting to know each other in a more intimate level. But y'all, I was on the phone with this man from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning. I cannot make this up. I was on the phone with this man from nighttime to sunrise. The sunlight was peeking out my window and I was like, well, damn. Shit. Like I did not even realize we were on the phone for that long because I wasn't getting tired. I wasn't getting exhausted. The conversation wasn't dry. It wasn't lagging. Nobody was falling asleep. Like we were just talking to each other as if we'd known each other for stupid long and we're old friends catching up. So I hadn't even realized what time it was for real. So I made a comment and I was like, oh my god, like the sun is up. And he was like, oh shit, the sun really is up. He was like, that's crazy, I didn't even realize we'd been talking for that long. And we both laughed about it a little bit. In my head, as this is going on, I'm thinking like, there's something wrong with him. It's something wrong with him. I don't know what it is, but it's something wrong with this man, and I'm gonna find out. Because when something is going so well, like you just meet somebody and everything's going so well and they're so sweet and they're great and they're all of this, I don't know, but my mind just goes immediately to the fact that he could be a serial killer. Like I don't know, something about it just tells me he got 2 baby mamas and triplets. Something about it tells me that there's something seriously wrong with this man. Like, and I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna find out. I'm like, this man came into my life, he's seemingly perfect, there's nothing wrong with him, so what the is up? So as I'm thinking this in my head, and that's how it goes, to tell you, as I'm thinking this man says, there has to be something wrong with you. And I was like, what? He was like, there has to be something wrong with you because we're getting to know each other in a way that I've never gotten to know anyone. So I'm like, yo bro, I was thinking the same exact thing. So we both like bust out laughing or whatever, and then we kind of like wrap up the conversation because again, he has to get to whatever the hell he has to go to and he's running late at this point. My day goes on, again we're talking to each other, everything's great. Now fast forward a few days into us getting to know each other, we're now communicating on social media. So I have him on Facebook, I have him on Instagram. On Facebook we're actively posting about each other. So I would be like on the phone with G.I. Joe, he's so silly, G.I. Joe thinks X, Y, and Z about this TV show. Like anything that we were talking about or something like important that happened in a conversation, I would post it on Facebook and he would do the same thing and we would tag each other. So people knew that we knew each other, but people didn't know why. If for all they knew, we could have just been friends, right? Y'all watch the second part of my toxic relationship story time. You know that I told y'all that Dwayne had this friend who I named Frank. And Frank, Dwayne, and I all went to the same high school. Frank and Dwayne remained good friends, but I never really knew Frank like that. And Frank somehow caught himself flirting with me in the DMs and then going to tell his friends that he was going to smash me, even though I ain't say nothing but 2 words to the man. So he called himself lying and all of that. And then Dwayne had to say something to him, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, my point is that Frank and G.I. Joe were also really good friends, and I found out through Facebook that they were good friends. But obviously at the time, I didn't know anything about him being dirt because I had not dated Dwayne at the time. So that might be a little confusing. What I'm saying is that both these men knew Frank. So anybody who's friends with Frank might be a dirtbag, low-key. Keep this in mind. So a few days after that, like us interacting on Facebook and all of that, it is Halloween weekend. Halloween weekend comes, and of course I live on a college campus, so everybody's looking for a motive. If y'all are not new here, you know that I am not a social person, but if it's one thing my friends gonna do is get me into some shit. So at the time I was living with my roommate Emma, who I told you guys a few story times about. So Emma and our friend Blue, they found like a frat party to go to, and they were like, come with us. So I'm upstairs, I'm getting ready while Emma and Blue are downstairs pre-gaming, and I'm on the phone with G.I. Joe. He's telling me what he's gonna do for the night. He's gonna hang out with his platoon, they're gonna drink creek water, I'm gonna go out with my friends and I'm gonna try to have fun. So we're talking, everything's good. My friends and I, we head out to the party. The party's going great. We're dancing, we're having fun, everything's all good. I'm having a time of my life, honestly, because I was so relaxed. Anytime I spoke to G.I. Joe, and since the day that I met him, I'd been in a constant state of relaxation. I was just so incredibly happy. Like nothing anybody could do would upset me at that point that I met that man. So I'm at the party, I'm having fun, I'm doing my big one, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm drinking that jungle juice, like it's great. All of that is happening, and I pick up my phone to see if G.I. Joe texted me, and what did I see instead? A notification from Facebook. Oh, okay. I go into the notification and it's a DM. Not only is it a DM, but it's a DM from somebody I haven't spoken to since middle school. Now, I'm the type of person that I give everything the benefit of the doubt. I don't ever think worst case situation. I don't think worst case scenario. I don't think anybody's trying to be funny. I always just try to get down to the point of what's happening. I like facts, and that's it. So I open up the message, and it's from this girl who, for the purpose of the story, we're gonna call Tree. I'm not calling her Tree to try to be funny or mean. Like, her name actually did resemble a tree's name. So we're gonna call her Tree. So I get this message from Tree, and she's like, hey girl. I was like, hey. And she was like, how are you doing? And I was like, I'm doing good, girl. How are you? She was like, I'm doing okay. So after, you know, all the little niceties and the small talk, I'm like, all right, what you want? Like, let's get down to it. What you want? Now, I hadn't spoken to this girl literally since middle school. In middle school, we were I want to say friends. Like, she was cool. We wasn't besties. We didn't talk on the phone, no, nothing like that, but she was cool. We had a few classes together, and she was always my like class buddy. She was my work friend, if you will. So I'm wondering what she wants at this point, because we had no communication since I graduated high school, middle school. So then she says, I got a question. So I'm like, what's up? She says to me,
how do you know G.I. Joe?
Oh, good Lord. Not my man. Not my man. Oh God, not my man. If you are a woman, if you're somebody who dates, period, you know the feeling of someone mentioning someone that you're dating, your boyfriend, your husband. A random woman or somebody of the same gender mentioning your partner, that will have your stomach dropping right down to your crotches. My booty hole clenched so hard I was not able to for 3 days. I was so anxious when she said, how do you know G.I. Joe? Because how do you know G.I. Joe? So I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, how do you know G.I. Joe? I see that you guys are posting about each other. I see you guys are tagging each other on Facebook. I just wanted to know how you know him. So I don't think that I responded to her right away, because at this point you're pressing me, and I want to know what you want and how you know him. So I'm like, why? So she goes, oh, no reason. I just wanted to know because, you know, I do know him as well. And so I wanted to know how y'all know each other. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna play into this. I'm gonna see what she wants. So I was like, we met each other a week ago on Instagram, and we've been talking ever since then, you know, getting to know each other. That's it. So she goes,
oh, so you guys are not dating? That's not your boyfriend?
I said, why? Again, why are you asking me this? She was like, I just wanted to know because, like, G.I. Joe is my ex-boyfriend. I knew it. I knew it. So I was like, what? She was like,
yeah, G.I. Joe is my boyfriend. We broke up about like 6 months ago. It was really abrupt. I'm still hurt about it. I'm not gonna lie. I just wanted to know how you guys know each other, because I was wondering if he was talking to you while he was dating me, and that's why we broke up.
So basically you think that I was his side chick? Is that it? I was like, no, I can assure you that I was not speaking to him when you guys were dating. I literally just met him a week ago, like I told you. She was like, oh, okay, I understand. And she was like, okay, girl, thank you. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not thinking anything of this situation. Of course, I was going to address it and ask G.I. Joe, like, what the is up? Because not only did your ex-girlfriend try to press me on some, but I know your ex-girlfriend, so now it's like a little bit awkward. Now with that in mind, I just kept my night going. Like, I was like, I'm not gonna let this bother me. I'm gonna have a good night. So I'm having a good night with my friends or whatever, and bro, I don't know what it is about these people, but 10 minutes after that, I get another DM for her, and she was like, oh, and another thing, I was just wondering if you could do me a favor. So I was like, what happened? What you want, Tree? What happened? You know what this girl told me? She goes,
I I was just wondering if you could do me a favor, because like I said, we broke up 6 months ago. I've been trying to talk to him. I've been trying to get into contact with him, but he won't message me back. He won't come see me. He won't let me come see him. And we had such a good thing going on. I could have sworn this was going to be my future husband. And then all of a sudden he broke it off with me. I'm not going to lie. I've been really hurt about this, and I've been trying to get him back. So I was just wondering if you could ease up off him.
Oh my God!
What? Come again? So I was like, what? So she was like, yeah, girl, I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but like, this was the love of my life, and we broke up not too long ago. First of all, 6 months ago is a while. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a while. 6 months ago? That's a while, baby. You what? So I was like, yeah, you're gonna have to explain a little bit. She was like, I know it sounds crazy, but he won't talk to me and this, that, and the third. And you know, we were cool before. We were cool, but we weren't cool enough for me to just stop talking to somebody I have a really good connection with when I haven't spoken to you since middle school. You got the audacity, really, and the nerve for real. So I was like, let me respond right back to you. So as the party's like wrapping up or whatever, my friends and I were heading back to South Campus where we live. And as we're going to South Campus and we're waiting for the bus, I sent G.I. Joe a message because I knew he would be awake. So I sent him a message and I'm like, bro, your ex-girlfriend just sent me a message. Not only did she try to press me on Facebook, but I know her. We went to middle school together. So he immediately called me when he got that message and he was like, what are you talking about? But when he answered the phone, it didn't seem guilty. Like, he didn't seem like he had anything to hide. He was just genuinely confused. So I'm like, yeah, your ex-girlfriend, she tried to press me on Facebook about how I know you. Wanted to know if you and I had known each other when y'all were dating and da-da-da-da. He was like, bro, what? Like, why would she do that? So I'm like, I don't know, but you need to get her. Because she told me to ease up off her. Baby girl wants another ride on the express, okay? And it's my turn. No, let me stop. That's not what happened. I was like, yeah, she wants you back, clearly. I don't know if y'all are still talking to each other, if you're trying to get to be with her still. I don't know what's going on, but y'all need to keep me out of this. It's weird, and I don't like that. So he's trying to reassure me that, like, he has not spoken to her in a really long time and that she has been trying to contact him, but he hasn't been responding back to her. And, you know, they broke up because she was just getting too clingy, and every time they would go out in public, she would try to be, like, sexual with him when he was, like, around her friends. When he was around his friends, she would try to be, like, sexual with him, and he didn't like that. He thought it was inappropriate. She would throw, like, these tantrums and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, like, that doesn't fix the fact that this girl is pressing me about you. So handle that. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna talk to her. The next morning rolls around and he sends me a message and he's like, yeah, I spoke to her. I told her to stop. There's no need to contact you about anything because we're still gonna try to get to know each other and it has nothing to do with her. So I'm thinking, like, okay, like, this girl's gonna leave me alone, right?
Well,
No. She did no such thing. Baby girl was harassing me. She was damn near stalking me at that point. I don't know what it is about me that's just very stalkable to people. Something about me, people want to stalk me. After he sent that message to her, I was thinking that she would leave me alone. She did no such thing. I would constantly get DMs from her on Facebook asking if we were still talking to each other, if we were still getting to know each other, and blah, 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 blah. All the that was going on. She was, like, constantly checking in. Anytime I would post something that would involve G.I. Joe, like, I would tag him in something, she would like it. She would comment, like, a smiley face. It was creepy. Like, she wanted me to know that she was very much so invested in what was going on and she was gonna get her man back. I'm not gonna lie, girl, you're gonna have to fight me for him, and may the best win. It's a joke, joke. I know some of y'all take things way too seriously. It's a joke. I was never gonna fight that girl for no man because, in the words of Mr. Vegas, I don't fight over my no. Okay, period. She's like, you know, monitoring all my posts, monitoring all his posts, liking anything that had to do with him. At some point, she just started to like all my messages. Even if I said, like, oh, just came back from class, like, if I said I have a headache, like, if I said anything related to anything, she would either like it, comment it, or both, especially when it had something to do with G.I. Joe. So at this point, it kind of like felt like harassment. Like, she really wanted me to ease up off this man, but it wasn't going to happen. Like, something in my spirit was like, no, like, stand your ground, bro. Don't do nothing. Stand your ground. So at the same time, G.I. Joe is telling her, like, leave him alone and da-da-da-da. But she likes this because she's been trying to get his attention, and now he's finally giving it to her, right? So fast forward, I want to say a few days after that, so it hadn't even been a full 2 weeks. A few days after that, G.I. Joe are still getting to know each other despite Tree stalking the both of us. We're getting to know each other and stuff like that, and we're falling deeper into like with each other, until one day G.I. Joe was like, I want you to be my girlfriend. He asked me to be, no, No, that's not. Well, actually, yeah, it is. Actually, it is. So he asked me to be his girlfriend over a phone call that we had, and I said yes. And I know it might sound crazy to y'all because you're like, yeah, I know this nigga for a week, hot in a pussy ass. You knew him for 1 week and you decided to be with him? Yes, I did. And I can't take it back because I was 19 and I said what I said when I said it. Exactly. Now he's my man. So of course I changed our status to in a relationship with G.I. Joe. Tree was distraught. That girl was distraught. She was back in my messages talking about some, oh, I see y'all are together now. I didn't expect this to happen, but I kind of did at the same time. I understand that you don't want to let him go because he's a really good guy, but I'm gonna tell you something. You really should watch out for him because you might end up hurt just like I was ended up hurt. Now, y'all, especially the women who are grown and then been through some things, right? Because at this point I'm 27, and knowing what I know now, when someone said something like that to me, although I might not like completely listen to what she has to say, I will like keep it in the back of my head. You know what I'm saying? So when she said that, I was kind of like, girl, whatever. Like, he didn't like you that much. Like, it is what it is. So after she said that, she kind of like left the both of us alone because obviously now we're in a relationship. She lost. We got rid of Tree. And we're moving forward, getting to know each other still, doing all the things, and we're planning now to see each other because, again, we were in a relationship, but we had never met each other. So fast forward to Thanksgiving. That was the first time I met G.I. Joe in person. So Thanksgiving comes, and he's there for the holidays, visiting his family and stuff like that. And he says, I want to see you. Of course he wants to see me. We never met. So he pulls up to my neighborhood in, like, a mutual spot or whatever, and I tell my mom I'll be right back. I was so sneaky. Oh, my God. Because I know if I told my mom that, like, I was going out to meet my man who I'd never met in person, she'd be like,
You cannot trick me. You cannot trick me.
So I went out, we met near the park, and then, you know, we greeted each other, we hugged, we kissed. Like, everything felt like what I expected it to felt like. We had the same spark, I had the same butterflies in person that I did over the phone, through text message, Facebook, all of that. The conversation did not fall. It was the same rhythm and flow that it was virtually. So the day is going by and we're hugging, we're kissing, we're at the park, we're just like talking to each other and enjoying physically being able to touch each other. Fast forward, obviously he goes back to where he's based and stationed in the United States, and we don't see each other for, I want to say, like another 3 weeks after that. I honestly don't remember when the next time it was that I saw him, but I think it was on Christmas. Yeah, the next time I saw him again was Christmas, and I remember it was Christmas because my parents had went on a cruise to celebrate their like wedding anniversary. So Christmas came, he went back to New York, and we saw each other. We hung out Christmas Day. We went to his grandmother's house. We was watching TV. We didn't do nothing. We was just watching TV. And that was that. And the progression of the relationship was like pretty fast. I don't remember exactly when it was that we said like I love you and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure it was one of the times that he came to see me. So either Thanksgiving or December, he said I love you. And even though it's like, okay, this is his second time seeing me, it's still very much so 2 months after I just met him. Like, that was lightning fast. But if you've never dated somebody in the military, like, the progression of y'all's love and y'all relationship moves much faster than normal relationships, because being in the military, your life kind of like always flashes in front of your eyes and everything feels so like hyper exaggerated. So the feelings you feel for your partner and your family, like those are very much so exaggerated. So you could fall in love with somebody in like a week, 2 weeks. Like it's normal. So, you know, our relationship is going on and stuff like that, and everything is fine. Everything is seemingly fine. There's nothing to complain about. We're not arguing. We're not going through anything crazy. He's not showing any red flags. It's fine. Whew. Until it wasn't. Until it wasn't. Okay, that is where I'm gonna leave the story, but I'll be back with another part. Everything was good until it wasn't. And this was not one of those situations where like it crashed and burned. It wasn't like that at all. It was much, much worse. Like, the way I was in love with this man and the way I thought that he was my soulmate, obviously not. The way I thought he was my soulmate, like, let me not say too much, but y'all will never expect the way this relationship ends. You will never expect the outcome. You won't see it coming, I promise. Okay? So anyway, if you like the story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe and join the gang. Because if you're watching this whole video, you might as well stick around. Follow me on all my socials. That is Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. It is in the outro and also in the description box down below. Make sure you follow me on TikTok because I'm trying to grow my following there. So Follow girl. Yeah, and I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.
Shout out to everybody. I had fun.